Good evening and welcome back to Poe Discussions with Carmen and
Jeanie,
hey Jeanie, how's it going tonight?
it is actually pretty well. I'm waiting for this rain that's supposed to be coming, but it's like slow as all as a trickle in the spigot, so to speak. So
All right. You pulled that
got
one
my
out.
southern coming out right there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was going to say. Well, we have a very special guest tonight, Harry Carpenter. Welcome, Harry.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. I was born and raised just a few minutes from where Poe died, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I've been in the military. I've done just about everything you can name. Started writing some books about 7, 8 years ago,
Okay.
and been doing it since. And
That's
then I decided to add on to that and run a horror book festival. So, yay,
yes.
responsibilities.
And please tell us what is the horror festival name so our listeners and viewers will know.
Sure, it's Fright Reads Book Festival.
Okay.
I just got dates for 2026,
Yay.
and we have spring and fall show. So they can go to
Okay.
frightreads.com for that.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So what
Is this open to all genres?
Uh it's a I'm branding it as a Halloween book festival.
Okay.
Because when it came out of the gate, people were like, "Ooh, it's just horror." It's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, Halloween. So it's a blanket covering horror, sci-fi, fantasy, thriller. We have some paranormal romances floating around in there.
Mhm.
Hard fantasy. Like I'm talking like really high level Lord of the Ringsy. Then we have a little
Ooh,
bit of everything in between. So it's
that's
you
awesome.
got Agatha Christie, the Lord of the Rings under there, right alongside of like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. So
Nice.
it's a pretty good spread.
That really is, and that's going to draw a lot of different followers of different
Yeah.
genres and authors and things. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you can put horror into anything, so that's
Oh,
great.
That's
sure. Yeah.
true. That is so
It's fun
true.
to do it. It's fun.
Oh, so Harry, tell us about the books you've been writing. Like, just tell us about that first, but then also tell us kind of how you got into writing.
Sure. So my latest book that's come out is Nightmares Unbound.
Hmm.
I got to the point where I like writing stories about other people, but there's
Okay.
nothing like writing yourself, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
And I always compare it to there's Stephen King's Misery.
Hmm.
And we know that the guy laid up in the bed with I think he got his ankles broken or his shins. I don't remember what the
It was his
sledgehammer
ankle.
hit. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say
his
the
ankle.
sledgehammer hit something good, and she was
Mm-hmm.
keeping him in bed. But that was a different guy. But let's be honest, that's Stephen King.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an analog for him to discuss a lot of things that he wanted to talk about, but not as Stephen King,
Yeah.
but through another voice. I love that idea, and I did that for several of my books. But then Nightmares Unbound, what if I took it to the next level and it's fictional me,
Mm-hmm.
author me. It's Harry Carpenter, the character,
Yeah.
and I go to a Comic Con, horror festival, book fair, like I do, business as usual. I just came from one this past weekend,
Hmm.
so I'd think nothing of it. And all of my author and artist buddies are set up. Midday, at the thick of it, where it's the busiest on Saturday, they lock all the doors and try to kill everyone.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So then it's a fight for survival. So it's me and all my buddies just trying to survive.
That
That's
is really a cool idea.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a lot of fun.
I've been to a lot of conventions, and it feels like that way half the time.
Oh
You're
yeah.
trying to fight for survival because you're trying to keep people from running you over and knocking you into things. Because all they have to do is yell one of the main characters' names, and everybody's like trampling over
Oh
you to
yeah.
get there. Ah! I was like, that's why I don't like to go to concerts. Conventions was the closest thing I got to,
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
but
And I thought, with what you just said, that we're talking a normal run-of-the-mill day. You're already getting stepped on, trampled, and pushed and shoved.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
couple that with a bunch of people trying to kill you. Now
Yeah.
everybody's
Yep.
in an absolute panic. They're trying to push and shove and find the exits. The exits essentially aren't there. So then there's going to be more panic. Um, so kind of playing with that concept. So if you're already seeing that chaos level on a normal day,
Hmm.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
ramp that up to, survival now. Now I just want to survive, and then people get very pushy, very shovey, and we've seen the movies.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
Yeah.
seen shoot, they did it in Titanic. I mean, he literally
Hmm.
jumped onto the boat and pushed a bunch of people out of the way. I mean, that's
Oh
not even
yeah.
a horror. That's Celine Dion and a penny whistle. It's not
Right.
horror. It
Yeah.
so by design, people do that. It's what's going to happen. So add that factor in, and it just makes for an absolutely wild book.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I have not been able to read all of the books that I purchased from you at the Poe Fest, but I have read two of the short stories, working on the third from your first Scary
Oh,
Tales.
Spooky Tales. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And the first one, the general, it really reminded me of something out of Tales from the Crypt. I was like, this
Yeah.
is a great idea.
So I and that's so with the Spooky Tale series, especially the first book, I started to have to get more creative with some of the base story,
Hmm.
but the first two, that one and Demon Dog,
That was
I didn't
good
have to do
too.
anything. I didn't have to. It was literally just, all right. So what happened? That's what I'm writing.
Hmm.
With the general, and what I do with the Spooky Tale series, since you've gotten through that one, um, I tell you the fun fictional version, and
Hmm.
then the second half of that is what I'm going to tell you. It's just the true story that inspires it.
Yeah.
So there's no question as to how different this was, or was it just a undigested piece of meat or something that
Right.
caused it? Um, I worked on a radio station that was on, way before what we're doing right now, way
Mhm.
before the iPod was even invented. There was no such thing as the pod.
Yeah.
The only pods that we knew were the ones that they woke up in aliens. Um, there was
Yeah.
no such pods. So I used to DJ on there, and I had the late night shift, and just the quirkiest people would AOL Instant Messenger or phone in, because that was way in the early days of Skype. We had AOL Instant Messenger, and we were doing what we could to get it going. And you get some goofballs, but this guy was just whew. Um, he was
Yeah.
next level. He presented this story, and it was so wild that a buddy of mine, I used to be into the music scene as well. So I have music that I recorded, and I recorded The General as a song because it was just that impactful. And then decades later, here I am. I'm like, God, you know what would make a great story? The General. because
Hmm.
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
just it's so silly and over the top that it has to be a good story.
Oh, it was, and that's what I say. It really gave me Tales from the Crypt vibes, which and that compliments to you. It was a
Thank
really
you.
great one, and I liked Demon Dog as well. And I was telling Jeannie that I loved how you just right after each of the stories added in, like you said, this is where the story came from, because so many authors don't do that.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, what element of truth nuggets that are really in there. And so that was great. That was a really good idea.
Yeah, and I thought that would be fun because, like you said, you don't ever get that little, get to be the fly on the wall as to why
Yeah.
Stephen King wrote this. Why did Edgar Allan Poe sit down in a
Hmm.
drunken stupor and jot out this story? What
Hmm.
what caused it? What happened that afternoon that made you
Right.
go, wait, what? Oh, this is the story. And like
Mhm.
with Demon Dog, it's just a reoccurring nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's what happens to poor Robin is almost verbatim the reoccurring nightmare. And I just it was the same thing over and over again, except I distinctly remember one or two different variations, and they were just different versions of getting further away, in
Hmm.
which one of them happened to be, as described in the story, actually getting out of the house and assuming that you're safe, but you're still in the dream. Everything's still like
Right.
surreal and messed up. So
Mhm.
that's almost the way it happened. And it's just kind of fun to talk about that. And then the quirky little thing of naming her Robin because my mom wanted to name me Christopher Robin.
Oh.
Oh,
And if I didn't get beat up enough for my name that I have, I can tell you, Christopher Robin. You'd be like, where's Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh now, huh?
Yeah.
oh, oh, wow.
And Tigger and the rest of them, were they
Yeah,
going to come save you or not?
exactly. Yeah. So I thought that was a nice. My mom was the first one to catch that when I gave her the initial story, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
Robin, why Robin? And she's like,
Uh,
Christopher Robin? And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that
Thank
was a
God my
nice
dad won that
homage.
one. My dad won that fight, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Oh, yes. So,
Not that there's anything wrong with the name of Robin, but it
Well,
it,
it's
it
it's
does.
Christopher Robin. It's
Yeah,
being
exactly.
named,
So,
yeah,
it's bad enough I get nicknamed Harry Potter or Harry Houdini and
yeah,
all of that. Like, good night. My birth name, my legal name being Christopher Robin.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
But it would have made my meet and greet with Jim Cummings that much better. Because
yeah,
he would
that
have
would
been
do.
like, oh, and he was doing Winnie the Pooh's voice when he filled out my Winnie the Pooh and Tigger movie.
uh-huh.
And he was like, "Oh, bother, who do I make this out to?" And I told him my name, but could you imagine if I said you can make it out to Christopher Robin?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
well,
And then I'd be
that
pulling
would
out
have
my
been
driver's
rememberable.
license
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, that would have been neat.
oh yeah. Yeah. Other than that, zero purposes in my life to have that name.
Yeah. So, like, I think I read in your bio that you've been writing since you were in middle school. So, have you always wanted to write?
So it ebbed and flowed. Um, I think I had the ambition to do it. I just
Mhm.
didn't have a good group of friends.
Okay.
Hmm.
We had the one, the cool guy, the I call it the whatever the plastics from Mean Girls.
Oh, yeah.
You had like those cool kids that would just you were in their circle, but you were never the circle.
Right.
Um, I would write stories, and I actually found my old notebook, and I was reading a story, and I was like, "This is garbage," but I can see that this turned into my military sci-fi foobar.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
looking at 20, 25 years later. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at the beginnings of the story. So I would write very short, I'm going to call short, longhand stories. What
Okay.
and these were handwritten too. This wasn't tapping away on a keyboard. So
Oh,
I
wow.
had I had turned in I had poetry, short
Mm-hmm.
stories, like I said, the sci-fi story where I'm going through it and I'm chuckling because I had zero idea about military rank and structure.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I thought corporal was top tier. You were the king of kings at that
Yeah.
at that rank because that's what I had heard in another story or book or video game or something, and I was like, I know that rank. That must be something. Um,
Uh-huh.
so I can see that I had the potential and the ambition back then. I've always enjoyed learning interesting words, and I just kind of evolved from there, put it to the side, and I probably put it to the side for 15 plus years.
Okay.
And then, just before the pandemic,
Okay.
um,
Mm-hmm.
I started getting some ideas and putting some books together, and Spooky Tales was actually the second one that I put together.
Okay.
Um, I started with I got kind of back into writing by writing a story about my crazy ex-wife, which
Okay.
which we affectionately call my first horror story.
Yep.
So I did that, and then I was like, this is kind of fun, but what if I did, what I kind of am into? And then
Mm-hmm.
the Spooky Tales came out, and then Fubar was my next one, which was my long form,
Mm-hmm.
now a series, and then finding my old story, and I'm like, haha, this is if 12-year-old me wrote the same story. Um, so it's kind of fun to see, the evolution that I never really left it, but I think I found more of an affinity for computers,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and now I can do both because yay, the future.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
know, like for me, writing, I used to write long form. And, back when I was in school, we had typewriters. We did not have the
Yeah.
computers we have today. And so
Absolutely.
it was harder to type than writing them out in pencil because you could erase. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but long form is fun to do, but whoo, it takes you so long.
Oh man. Yeah. I was talking to somebody, a newer author, early 20s,
Okay.
and I'm talking to them, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I had to like I came from the era where they gave you typing classes. I
Yes.
don't think they do that anymore. I think they just assume you know how to like, well, you text and tap away on on the keyboard, but
Yeah. They
you
do.
should know how to do it
Yeah, they do some keyboarding in middle school, and that's about it.
just to
And
teach you the proper way. But
yes,
Mhm.
aside from that, yeah, I mean, I went through I think 2, 3 semesters worth of this is how to work a computer.
yes.
So open up this so we had Mavis Beacon, which was
Mhm.
anybody that's from the 90s, the early 90s knows that this lovely lady would teach you how to type. And I had a love-hate relationship because I look back and I go, you know what? I type pretty fast. I owe it to that lady.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had just missed the typewriter era. I was just past it because they had just gotten
Okay.
the new word processors.
Mm-hmm.
That
Ah.
should tell you how far back that was. The new word processors, not
Oh
the
yeah.
new desktop computer, the new portable no, the word processor, which was you bring up the DOS screen and you type in, in this day and age, you type up Microsoft Word and then it would fire up. But
Yeah.
um yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so not quite the dark ages, but just past that.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I think Carmen and I fit more in the dark ages
Yeah, we do.
because with our long hand, it was actually cursive, and I go back and I look at it and read it now, and I'm going, that is such an art form that
Oh
was
yeah.
lost with the progressive age,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it amazes me because people don't. It's like another world.
Hmm.
It could be. You could throw it in a book now and totally freak out some people that
Oh
read it.
yeah.
You could make it like a hieroglyph, like that. That's pretty much like what they think it is
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
A
Get some
hieroglyph.
calligraphy, cursive, and
Yeah,
Oh
what is
yeah.
this ancient text?
Yes.
That's the word
exactly.
the.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
See, and that would be, and just think about if that we go back to Poe's day.
Oh boy.
Not only with the
Oh yeah.
calligraphy and the cursive,
Hmm.
but the words, the
Yes.
Mhm.
just the mixture of the Latin and the Greek and the Roman base words in there.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah,
Amen.
it just whew, it would be another world. And yeah, there you go. Throw it back to where somebody had to time travel back there and they got lost and it was like, hey, that's a one giant ancient escape room right there for you.
Poe would
Right.
love it with cryptograms, so that's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah. And speaking of Poe, so when did you discover Poe and like become a fan?
So it's two-part because I think being nearby,
Hmm.
Hmm.
they teach you Poe early.
I can
Um,
imagine. Yeah.
they try to get you in with some softer ones. The Raven, for example,
Yeah.
like the real easy. Let's dip your toe in something that's not that scary, and we'll go from there. And I think I was kind of introduced to that. The Simpsons helped reinforce that
Okay.
with
Yeah.
their rendition of the Raven.
Oh yes.
Um,
And they did that excellently.
the whole thing. It's just and it was so good. And then I remember in middle school, I discovered a complete works of Poe at our school library,
Okay.
and I stumbled upon The Black Cat, which is just messed up.
Oh yeah.
Um, that and all of the classics, and then that I think I rabbit holed down to a Vincent Price marathon,
Okay.
which I mean he pretty much did everything that he ever wrote in movie form now.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think there's a story that he didn't touch, but
Hmm.
kind of went down that rabbit hole,
Okay.
and that was that. and being able to, go up to Poe Fest, which is in a house that he had and near
Yeah.
the hospital that he did not make it out of, and
Yeah.
all of
I
this stuff is
know.
just kind of cool to be, 15 minutes away from that.
Absolutely. I wish that I know the hospital is now on apartments and things
Yeah,
or condos. I wish they would do something where you could do a tour, just,
yeah,
but if it's if it's dwellings, they'll never do that. And so
absolutely.
because that would be
Plus,
really neat.
if it's apartments, it's lost the luster of what it was.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think a historical marker and some
Hmm.
information that goes far enough.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And thankfully, we have the house and the museum to kind of preserve
Absolutely.
the essence of that area.
Yeah. And what's exciting is the museum's expansion
Yes.
coming. And so I'm really excited for that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be I don't know what that's going to look like, but if they own all of that property, then that sounds
Yeah.
like the Poe Fest will be very nice because then it'll be super self-contained.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And there'll be more historical, I'm assuming artifacts and things like that in the
I
museum
would
because they'll be
imagine.
able to
Yeah.
expand it just from not just having the house. So,
The house is tight. If anybody's ever been inside, it is tight.
oh, I know.
You
I
could pretty
know.
much just stand in the middle and turn and just spin around once and see just about everything.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
not quite literally, but it's small. You get
Yeah.
inside and you're expecting a museum, but then Baltimore's known for having several really neat museums like that. You have the Poe
Mhm.
House, Babe Ruth Museum, things like that that
Right.
are just little tiny places that they weren't a museum. They were somebody's house,
Right. Right.
and houses back then they were erected and thrown together as close and as quick as they could be.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't make for good gathering places.
Right. Oh, I know it.
Yeah,
I know it.
Mostly it was just big enough to pile all your family in and hope for the best.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Jeannie, what other questions did you have?
Well, let's see. So you've talked about the Raven, but what about the horror part of Poe? Everybody automatically thinks of the, Telltale Heart.
Hmm.
And we've always discussed that it's a psychological horror
Hmm.
because it doesn't really give you a lot of the blood, the guts. I mean, it does talk about the blood and the heart and stuff, but it's not like what you would think of in today's day, like Harry, when you
Sure.
write horror in today's or deal with anything in today's horror world, it's all about the blood, the gore, the guts and kind of thing. So, on that note, what do you think people would say to the Telltale Heart, since everybody kind of the most horrific of them all, they attribute that one to Poe, although we know that there's others that are actually worse than that one.
Much
Hmm.
worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But that one is the one that most everyone knows when they say Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it would be the Telltale Heart, um, or the Mask of the Red Death. Thanks
Hmm.
to Netflix, now we have, some of them that are being pulled out and put into the light. But the
Hmm.
Telltale Heart, what's funny is it's not even a scary the problem is the main character, the narrator.
Yeah.
Nobody
Hmm.
else is a scary aggressor. It's just
Nope.
some old guy trying to, he has a goofy eye or whatever. I think he
Hmm.
had like a crazy eye and it drove the
The
narrator
narrator.
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
He just was bothered. He's like, I keep looking at this eye.
Hmm.
And, he goes in there and he smothers him with a pillow. I haven't read this story in like 20 plus years. That's how you know it's a
Okay.
good story.
Yeah.
And then he goes in there and like smothers him with a pillow, buries him under the floorboards,
Chops
and
him up first.
Yeah. Chops him up first.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he buries him under the floorboard,
Yeah.
and obviously he's very much gone. This
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
there's no coming back. But it's his own psychotic break, his
Yep.
paranoia, and all of that. And I think he has visitors. The cops come by. A
Yeah.
little bit of
Uh-huh.
everything is coming through, and he's just like, I can hear the heartbeat, and
Yeah.
it's just eating away at him. And it's just the psychology of it.
Yep.
And you're not. you're not on the receiving end of the killer. You are the killer. You're going from their perspective and their breakdown, which
Yeah.
is something that I think in that time and even before and sometimes after that, not a lot of people really delve into,
True.
without getting into the blood, guts, and gore. And,
Yeah.
Hmm.
we can get into like the psyche of a person that's capable of murder, but what it turns into is American Psycho or Dexter or
Yes.
Psycho
Yeah.
Psycho, like
Yeah.
Psycho proper. We get into that where we're just hearing a bunch of high strings going reet, 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 and
Hmm.
it's all for show, and we have to show, even in 1940s and 50s, we have to show blood and some death and some chaos.
Mm-hmm.
What Poe manages to do is give you just a dash, just a sprinkle, and the rest of it is just I'm going crazy. I hear a heartbeat,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it's just the thumping and just the description of just the slip into madness,
Mm-hmm.
that pulls that out. I actually did I'm ordained, so I went down to Florida to do a wedding
Oh, wow.
on
Oh, cool.
Halloween, Edgar Allan Poe themed.
Oh,
Ooh.
cool.
So they wanted a spooky wedding and everything was gothic and Poe-esque. I wrote the vows for them. They had their own pieces, but I wrote the main part, which
Okay.
included Annabelle Lee,
Nice.
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is, that's another one. That's just it's so dark and macabre, but at the same time, it's just about a love that can never be had.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it's just, you can turn that into, a Nicholas Sparks story. Remove the morbidity out of it, and Nicholas Sparks could have wrote that thing on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I think that that's why Poe is still considered, because you can break down old authors and go, were they really that good? Or do we just consider them a classic because of,
Mm-hmm.
they taught us in English school that
Right.
this needs to be, a good author. But Poe, I think you can, there's plenty of classes on Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my Poe classes? We need to
Yes.
Hmm.
discuss and break down Edgar Allan Poe and the levels of just, yeah, he might have been halfway down into a bottle of vodka or rum or whatever. But boy, did he come up with some words that flowed so beautifully that they were poetic. They were of the time, but not of the time, because he wrote in such a unique prose that it
Yeah.
made you feel like it was, that I want to say like that Dickensy. You're in
Hmm.
that Dickens era of
Mm-hmm.
writing, and nobody spoke like that in the Dickens era. Charles Dickens decided to make everybody talk like that, and
Mm-hmm.
Poe captured the exact same thing while on the eastern seaboard of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest surprise of everything that most people, I know when I was teaching it, that most of my students would get surprised by was that Poe was an American writer.
Yeah,
Yes.
Because in that time period, like you said, it was all about the Charles Dickens,
yeah,
Oliver Twist and everything. And then you had all the poets like Lord Byron
Mm-hmm.
and those that were coming out. So America only had a few, like you had James Fenimore Cooper, we had Thoreau, but
yeah.
it was still, it was still more of a British run
To say
Yeah.
even
literature.
Thoreau had that kind of British-esque writing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
just that was they hadn't quite found like I had to take an early American lit class and
Okay.
I was like, yeah, everybody sounds like they're British. They're like, that's
Yeah.
not true. It was a specific I was like, no, no, everybody was British. I don't care. If they weren't British, they were. Let's just be honest. Let's break it down.
Yeah.
Um the
Most
the
of them were still just descendants of British parents, and they were still
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
having a
And
lot
that's,
of British influence. So,
yeah. That, and I
Yeah.
think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. One, possibly two generations removed at
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
mhm.
Grandma and grandpa were over there having their tea, you know?
Yep,
Yes.
The ones that we didn't throw in the harbor. Um,
exactly.
Yeah.
but they would have like, looking at the Raven, like quoth the Raven, It's not quote the Raven, it's
Nope.
quoth. What is
Yeah.
quoth? I've never seen quoth in, on a billboard. Like
Yeah,
it's
unless it's
it's a
Poe.
yeah. Well, I'm saying unless it's Poe or the crab place down the road that likes to use Poe every once in a while in their
Oh
billboards.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
um, in just general speak, it just sounds foreign.
Mhm.
It sounds like a British term.
Yeah, it
So
does.
it's yeah, and it's automatically, the way that he writes his prose and everything automatically sounds British. I actually didn't know he was from around here until, I think middle school. We
Okay.
learned about him and I'm learning about all these different people and I'm like, that's neat. These people are
Yeah.
fun. And then you're like, yeah, anyway, he lived in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and I was like, was this after
What?
he moved from Great Britain?
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
The whole world just starts to spin. You're like, everything I knew was a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But and
Well,
he did live in
he
England,
did. Yeah,
for about 5 years, but that was when he was a child. But that's a very aged that you're a sponge taking all these things in. So I'm sure there was lots of huge influences that he
sure.
brought back with him.
Plus, he's over in this world that is, I'm going to say the Dickens world.
Yeah.
And if you read any of his works, London itself is dark,
Yeah.
gritty. Mostly
mhm.
it, unless you're super rich, the cities and the dark alleys and the seedy walkways,
Mm-hmm.
that's where Poe was growing up for a while.
Yeah.
He was seeing the darkness and the macabre. So it has to have affected him somehow.
Yeah. I agree. Jeannie, I think you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say that a lot of it, it wasn't even that most of his, well, not most of them, but there's quite a few of his stories have French settings. And
Very true.
so you would automatically just think, oh, so he was from Europe, so maybe in the area, not just London or anything, but he
Sure.
could have been from, in that area of France or even Spain or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you think about it and you're going, wait a minute, the dude was born in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he a Yankee. Okay. Then he moved to Virginia.
Oh,
So it's like, wow, okay. And that's just one of the many facets of Poe. I think that made his work so well rounded is he did have this education. Are you having visitors in, in
I
the
was just like,
oh. I said the
that
general hasn't shown up, has he?
so I have a suspicion. I have smart light above me, so I think
ah,
somebody tried to turn off a light somewhere else in the house and
Ah, gotcha.
accidentally hit mine instead. That's why I was like, off, on.
oh,
Okay.
we will hope. We
Yeah,
will
Yes,
hope that that was the case and it's not like, oh, the aliens have landed. Okay.
that's fine. If the
exactly.
aliens have landed, I had a good run.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you'll have one of
And
the
right
weirdest
now
and
it'd be
best
like, oh,
episodes ever.
That's
yeah,
right.
that'd
That's
be
exactly
a
right.
great a great story. That would be your next
Oh,
book, and that that'd be a great episode for us. So
Right?
that's great.
I know it. I know
Uh,
it.
but yeah, I think that's one of the interesting parts about Poe is he was an American writer, but you
Yeah,
couldn't really pinpoint what type of American writer, and that makes him like the best example of an American writer
Yeah.
because of the melting pot. We had the
yeah,
Dutch influence, the French influence, the
Yeah.
British, the Irish, all of them. And he
yeah.
kind of incorporated all that in his stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I like how he just kind of transcends different things. And I try to do that with when you get to the second one, the Spooky Tales 2.
Okay.
There's a story that I submitted to the veterans creative writing contest.
Okay.
And they sent me an email and said, "You could try to apply. Anybody can submit." And I was like, "I don't know, we'll see." And I put together a story. It had to be, I think, 1,000 words or less.
Okay.
And I wrote this story that just came across so timeless. And my favorite thing about it is people have told me it's two Civil War soldiers. I've been told so I've been told on several occasions it's war related, Civil
Okay.
War and World War II. So I was like, okay, so we're getting soldier vibes. Okay.
Okay.
My favorite one was It's Sam and Dean Winchester.
Supernatural.
And
Okay.
I said, okay, so then now we're in today, but the dynamic has always been the same, that it's just these two guys that are in some sort of brotherhood, be it brothers or, something that has linked them together. I give
Mhm.
you no backstory. There is nothing. These are the pieces that are pulled together just from the writing.
Okay.
And it's just two guys playing Russian roulette in a cabin.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah.
And one of them wins, loses. I'm not too brushed up on the rules.
Yeah.
I think you won or
Yeah, you win, but you
yeah,
lose. So
you
it's
only
Yeah.
like,
get you only win once.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
I
I
think
had
that was the. Go ahead. Sorry.
just their banter back and forth, and I turned that in and I said, all right, I'm gonna get red flagged at the VA because this is a story about some people about to blow their brains out. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get a talking to or pulled to the side. Do we need to talk to you?
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
it ended up winning first place.
Oh,
Oh,
They
congratulations.
said it was the
Yeah.
weirdest thing of all the submissions. They whittled it down to, I think, 10 to 15 submissions that could be presented.
Okay.
And I sat through all of the presentations, and some of these people were just writing. I think once you have to hear the same story about how a deployment messed with you
hmm
and how you were
Okay.
upset about how you're back home. And it's almost the same story every time. And it's like, yeah, we've been there. And then here comes this guy that's like, anyway, two guys are in a log cabin, one blows his brains out playing Russian roulette. The end. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
more to it than that. But
Right.
you
Right.
get this story and you go, wait. What?
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
it
Playing
probably
spin
gave
the
them some
bottle with a
pause.
gun. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave them some pause. And my favorite thing to do, and I've done it with other stories since,
Hmm.
where Poe kind of transcends, landscapes. He could be any geographical location. Is this a French writer? Is it Italian? Is
Right.
he,
Hmm.
a Western Russian writer? Who is this guy? Um, I like to write stories sometimes that have zero time. This could be this could be 1980s, this could be 1890s,
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
and you won't know the difference. Because there's no
Right.
technology, there's nothing in there other than you can just kind of put a finger on where it could be.
Yeah.
And every answer is correct and also wrong.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I I enjoy stories like that because, like you said, everybody's imagination is different, and so
Yeah,
whereas I might think this is going to fit into 1930s, kind
mhm,
of going towards a noir of some sort, and it makes it more, I think, connecting to individuals that way.
yeah,
And I also like you write what you know, and that's what Poe did. And
yeah.
so it's like the
He knew how
most,
to bury people behind a brick wall.
yeah.
Write what you know.
But yeah, I know what you mean. But it's like when you write what you know and take the real into the fictional world, the story becomes more authentic because
Yeah,
you got to you as the author has a connection with have a connection with
and that's been with
it.
prominently in my series is Fubar, which is a military sci-fi,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and Nightmares Unbound. The difference is I did the Stephen King misery method with Fubar, where
Okay.
it's a character named Chantry, Jason Chantry, and he's
Okay.
from Alexandria, Virginia, definitely not Baltimore,
Yeah.
because I was like, it can't be me. But I want to go somewhere that I know.
Yeah.
So I made him from Virginia, and it's essentially me and all my army buddies
Hmm.
fictionalized, and we're doing the same thing. We're thrust into this wild scenario where we're fighting monsters,
Hmm.
but the grounded in reality part is my descriptions of the base, the weapons, the military day-to-day stuff. All
Yeah.
of that is just true to life.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
is the write what you know because, I was there, I saw it, I did it.
Hmm.
Um, the what I don't know is, well, monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
would it be
that you can
like?
create out of nothing. So,
Yeah. But if you have, 70% grounded in reality,
Mm-hmm.
Your made up, fabricated, pulled out of your butt stuff is
Yeah.
going to land.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's where Poe shined. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's got stories where like the Mask of the Red Death. There were a lot of stories of him not liking the rich people.
Yeah,
The rich and privileged people, but and then I think he'd have the same sentiment today.
Mhm.
probably.
He'd have even better stories today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that sentiment is something that transcends time.
Yeah.
Everybody's been sick and tired of the king, the oligarch, the oppressor, the dictator, the whoever's in charge running the show, the local governor, whatever, whoever happens to be the big head honcho that we're shaking our fist at today.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That is a
Transcendentalist.
hmm?
The transcendentalist. He hated transcendentalists.
Yeah, he
So,
did.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's something that it's a sentiment that echoes, 200, 300 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's quite frankly what America was built on. We
Yes.
got tired of the guy in charge and we were like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Um, and rather than write a book, we had a war. But um,
Mm-hmm.
Poe was tired of a lot of the higher ups and often would take care of them in the books. And I think it's just they're so pompous and full of themselves that they lose sight of reality and they're so arrogant and cocky that, oh no, I am bulletproof. I'm rich. And then
Mm-hmm.
something like a plague, just, a pox, a blanket full of the measles, literally anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's just like, sucks to suck, nerds. You got the measles. And guess what? There's not a vaccine yet. They'll
Yeah.
make that in 200 years. You know,
Yep.
exactly. He's writing stories like that. And I love that too, because you can also kind of surmise his views and his standings with things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Who was he angry at? Because that's every author. You don't make an author mad, or you may end up in an amalgamation of a bad guy or some unfortunate sap that's going to have to get, run over by a horse and, turned
Yeah.
into like cow food. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
something horrible will befall you. And that's
Mhm.
100% the avenue that he took.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, do
Mhm.
you have a favorite Poe story and or poem?
Um, so I mentioned it earlier. I think for whatever reason, the black cat,
Mm-hmm.
I had one just screaming at me a few minutes ago.
Okay.
I was like, go
Mhm.
away, you're loud.
Oh, and we
Um,
welcome pets on our podcast, so it's
he's
all
a big
good.
boy. He doesn't jump on laps. He doesn't
Ah,
jump.
okay.
He's a big boy. He's like a 27-pound black cat.
Wow.
He's a
Yep.
big boy.
Oh, wow.
So I do like black cats. I do like cats in general. Cats are my
Yeah.
thing. But something about the black cat, and I mean, he could have turned it into a dog, whatever. Doesn't
Right.
matter. Any kind of loyal pet. There are pets that are just loyal to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why we have Sarah McLachlan singing to us at 1 a.m. and asking us to donate.
Mm-hmm.
So many abused and just miserable animals
Yeah.
looking for a loving home that will just continue had they have not been removed from that situation,
Yeah.
would just be there. They don't run away. So then you have Poe taking the story of the black cat, where I mean, at one point in time, if it's too graphic, then you shouldn't be reading Poe anyway. I think he takes the quill and pops the cat in the eye, something to
Mm.
that effect,
Let's
and
see.
the
I
eye
can't
comes
remember. It's
out.
been a while.
Then he tries to drown the
Yeah.
cat at some point, puts it into a potato sack and out into the river, and the
Mm-hmm.
cat comes back soaking wet, missing an eye, and just meowing outside of his house. And that's all it would do. And again, it's the telltale heart. It's the I hear the beating, the pumping, the thumping.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the cat meowing and scratching outside of the house. It's
Yeah.
just the theme of being driven into insanity. So rather than latch onto something like the telltale heart, I think that story is the same, but on a different spectrum of just slipping into insanity.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also mentioned, and the only reason I put it into a wedding was because the Annabelle Lee it's long-winded, but I do love the prose of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not big into English, It's definitely a Google rabbit hole to learn a whole lot of new words.
Mhm.
You're like,
Absolutely.
what does that word mean? Oh,
Yes.
a prison. Oh, okay. What does that word mean? Oh, a heart. Okay. What is you'll be doing that a lot with it. And it's just it's one of those things where he can still be that Poe level of melancholy and somber and
Mhm.
morbid, but tell you the most beautiful story.
Yes.
And he does have ones that aren't even morbid or dark
Oh,
remotely.
yeah.
He's
Hmm.
just got normal, regular human poetry here.
Yes. And a lot of satire. A lot of satire.
Yes. Yeah,
And
he
it's
does have
great.
other facets, but he's not known for the humor. He's not known for,
No.
his political cartoons. No,
Yeah.
but he's not
But
known for
yeah.
his other stuff. It's the macabre, the dark. I mean, they wouldn't sell him in Spirit Halloween and have him showcased on Halloween and have him in Simpsons Treehouse specials on Halloween
Yeah.
if he was known for his comedy and wit. He's
Yeah.
known for his dark and gruesome, and honestly, probably, unfortunately, stole a lot of ideas for us to come up with. Because burying somebody alive behind a wall, I don't think people did that before. I don't know of any other writing where it's just like, so
Mhm.
anyway, sorry I have to do this to you, laying down brick and mortar. And the guy's like, please, can I just leave? No, no, actually, you're just gonna, if you can just hold this brick for me, thank you.
Yeah.
You have somebody that's just calculatingly, that's a laying brick, what, 5, 6 feet tall, roughly,
Hmm.
however wide that hole was that he popped the guy inside of.
Right.
It had to be
Hmm.
human sized, so you're still patching a giant hole in the wall. That's time consuming
Yes.
to get into his mind of I'm not just going to kill you. I am going to go, I have to mix the mortar. I'm going to have to go to the bricklayer guy, get some bricks.
Hmm.
I have to go shopping, put some
Oh, yeah.
tarp down. Um, he's got
Oh,
to get
absolutely.
some lights. I got to get some candles, so I can see what I'm doing. Um, there's so much. It's not an impulse kill, and that really shows
No.
you a lot with Poe. Like Telltale Heart, impulse. That's
Yeah.
just like you gotta go. I can't stand this eye, and if it wiggles at me one more time, that's it. Um,
Hmm.
this is on the flip side. This is cold, long, premeditated, calculated. You have plenty of opportunity to turn away and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what, just kidding, got you. Um, he went to the last brick. Um,
What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's good stuff. I love that people put Telltale Heart like first, but um, the man could just get dark, and that's why he's not the poetry guy or the
Hmm.
lighthearted, witty satire guy. He's the creepy, macabre, played by Vincent Price on too many occasions guy.
Yeah.
Also, on that same token, Vincent Price is the same way. He was a nice guy. He was
Hmm.
lighthearted, loved cats, loved to tell practical, jokes and practical jokes on people. He was a lighthearted guy.
Yeah.
Played the darkest, most macabre characters, including mostly Poe characters.
Yes, and
So,
I
yeah,
saw something that he has been named the top horror actor of all time.
I would believe that. That's
Yeah,
something I could get behind. I was
absolutely.
actually recommending for a Vincent Price movie.
Hmm.
A friend of mine's girlfriend doesn't do horror because
Okay.
it's too gross and splattery, and she
Yeah.
doesn't like the jump scares and all these loud noises. And I said, may I recommend to you two movies that you will survive?
Okay.
And I told her, I said, first and foremost, and these were both shown to me by my English teacher in 10th grade or whatever,
Okay.
um, to relate to a vocabulary word or something that we were learning. We were on a Shakespeare kick. So he said, I'm not going to show you Romeo and Juliet or something. We're going to watch Vincent Price's Theater of Blood.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was like, I'm in. What is
Yeah.
this?
Hmm.
And it's Vincent Price as an actor and on the
Hmm.
stage for theater, and the critics just completely rail him and Negative, 1 star. If they could give less stars, they would. Had this been the
Hmm.
future and it would have been on Amazon. Um, um, and he just snaps and kills them in Shakespearean ways.
Yeah,
And
it's an excellent film.
it's well done. It's funny. I mean, I don't know.
Dark,
Maybe
definitely dark humor. Yeah,
I'm messed
yeah.
up, so maybe I just find humor in it. But it's funny at times. And then the other one that I told her, I said you need to watch The Bad Seed. The Bad
Hmm.
Seed is I was this close. The actress that played Rhoda, she was actually coming to Baltimore for a show.
Hmm.
And I was so excited. And they're like, "Why?" She's like 90, and I was like, "This is the greatest movie ever made, and I'll fight anybody. This is the hill that I'll die on right now." It's and I told her, I said, there's no jump scares, there's no over the top, there's no splattery death effects. Nobody gets,
Hmm.
beheaded and butchered and maimed, but they do. It's implied. And
Yes.
that's
Mhm.
that's where classic like 40s and 50s horror really
Hmm.
shined, because rather than show somebody brutalized, you get the scream in the shower, the knife goes up, and then it
Hmm.
pans to the shower curtain, and then somebody's over there with Hershey syrup going at
Yep.
the wall.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and it worked. You were like, "Oh my God. Oh, you didn't even see the knife go, now you see the knives go through people and the open wounds and the
Oh yeah.
everything." No, take all that out of there, and that was good. And The Bad Seed was just this little girl who's basically Veruca Salt on steroids,
Hmm.
and just wants her way, and she'll do what it takes to get it. And we
Wow.
watched that in English class in high school,
Oh wow.
um, to learn about the word scruples.
Oh, interesting.
And he's like, "How can I explain what scruples are?" "Well, I won't. Let me show you somebody who has zero scruples. This is the bad seed from 1980, and he puts in
Wow.
the movie, and we watched the bad seed over the course of two classes.
Hmm.
And I think it's one of the greatest movies that people need to watch, because
Yeah.
it's long, and it was a Broadway live show
Hmm.
that they turned into a film. And my favorite part is after everybody's met their demise, they have the curtain call at the end, which they used to have to do to show you that the kids are fine.
Yeah.
Nobody killed the children. Please don't attack us or riot and wait outside.
Right.
Um, and they did that for the movie, and I thought that was so fantastic. They kept the original curtain call of all of the actors popping out and waving and taking their bow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is really cool. I
yeah.
did not know that. I've seen the film. It is really good.
It's good. It's not like one of those ones that's gonna, knock your socks off. It's that wowing, but
Right. Right.
it's it's one of those ones that came out at the right time with the right amount of energy. They did reboot it in the 2000s. It's
Yeah. Hmm.
terrible.
Yeah. I have not
Terrible.
seen the remake. Yeah.
Keep it that way. Don't do it.
Okay. All right.
They decided to up the ante on the blood, guts, and gore and jump
Okay.
scares, and I said, "No. What made it good was that you have this Andy Griffith looking kid who's just wholesome and could have just walked right out of Mayberry, and she is
Hmm.
just setting people on fire and drowning them
Yeah.
and uh, sticking them in ovens. Like, I don't know what else, whatever else she did.
Yeah.
Awful things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah. Exactly. So, Harry, what do you have in the works right now?
So actually being worked on, I'll knock on wood. It's sort of kind of being worked on when I
Okay.
when I work on it. Welcome to being an author.
Yes.
Um, I'm working on a book that takes place in New Mexico.
Okay.
It's a ghost story about a family that has to move because dad's got a new job working for
Okay.
the government, and he's going to go work at White Sands, New Mexico, or surrounding area,
Okay.
where they have all the cool radar stuff and all the techie, and where they were dropping the atomic bombs and all this cool stuff that's happened out there.
Hmm.
He gets a new job, bought a house in a new housing development. They get there and things are already wrong from the get-go, and it just gets perpetually worse.
Okay.
Um, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And my favorite thing that I'm going to play with is, I call it the poltergeist problem. You you move the headstones, but not the bodies.
Gotcha.
I want to make you think that's what the problem is.
Okay. Oh,
But
cool.
it's actually far worse. But I'm definitely because it's, Native American territory and
Mhm.
how easy would it be to just put it over an Indian burial ground? The old cliche.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're gonna start researching the history and
Oh, cool. Okay.
finding out stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun
Yeah.
when I get through it. But
That sounds good. Yeah.
it's good. And then the other one that I know I have on the shoots to go is going to be the sequel to Nightmares Unbound.
Oh, nice.
If you
Okay.
thought I messed up once by going to a bad Comic Con, just you wait. I already have the tagline because Nightmares Unbound, you're laughing at it's dark humor. It is. It's
Mhm.
just dirty, dark, horrible humor where you're just
Yeah.
like, oh no. And they're like, why are you laughing? Well, anyway, there was a meat hook that went through their face, and it's like, I'm sorry, how is that funny? Well, he was a fisherman, and you had to read the book.
Yeah.
It's um my tagline is I want to use the Jaws 4 tagline. This
Mhm.
time it's personal. Um,
Okay.
which will
Okay.
make absolute sense when that book does come to fruition.
Yeah.
But I just think that's the silliest tagline. Also, the silliest movie, let's just be honest. The silliest
Yeah.
high budget movie that should not have been made. But
Yeah. Yeah. There, that could be a whole nother conversation.
that's a whole different podcast.
Yes.
But yeah,
Oh.
I thought that was funny because it's like usually when people do a sequel, it usually goes back to Breaking
Hmm.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
My buddy Brian Paoni, his book is Electric Boogaloo for his sequel. And I was like, oh man, I'm not going to use Electric Boogaloo. I mean, his story has to do with breakdancing as part of the
Gotcha.
character backdrop, but
Uh,
so it makes sense for him. And I was like, well, Nightmares Unbound 2, Electric Boogaloo, while that's funny. And
yes.
I was like, how about this time it's personal?
Yes.
Um, and it will be personal. And then I have a third one that will eventually come out, but
Okay.
right now it's New Mexico, Nightmares Unbound, and I need to finish the final installment of the Fubar series.
Nice. Okay. That sounds really good. Lots of things in the works for
Lots
people
of
to look
things.
forward to. So that's
Oh yeah.
great.
And then maybe some short stories in the future.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're usually ones that I just collect little ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and then as I finish writing them, they just kind of go into one big Word document, and I go, that's like 3 or 4 stories. That should work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you got the dates for Fright Reads for spring and fall, you said?
So I have announced the spring dates.
Okay.
That's actually going to be the Saturday before Mother's Day, the 9th
Oh,
of May.
wow. Okay.
Somebody was like, "That's in my Mother's Day plans." I said, "No, it's the day before, and you can be in and out."
Yeah,
Um, bring mom down. Be a great gift. Buy
that's
a whole
great.
bunch of stuff. You think there were a bunch of Poe authors at the Poe Fest? You should see Fright Reads and see, 5 or 6 of them in just one group, and they're all like, "Hey, you wrote what I wrote." Um, there's one where I think it's like Edgar Allan Poe is a pilot. I don't know. It's weird. I've
Oh,
seen some stuff.
interesting. Hmm.
I've seen some weird crossovers and fan fictions
Okay.
involving Poe or Poe-esque themes. So
Yes.
it's
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot in there, and they usually sign up for Fright Reads, and I always enjoy looking at their book covers and hearing the premise. But yeah,
Cool.
it'll be at Marley Station Mall in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Okay.
Um, we have a nice wing to ourselves,
Oh,
and
very nice.
we set up anywhere from 80 to 100 different vendors,
Mm-hmm.
mostly authors. This time it hasn't been announced yet on the website, but that's
Okay.
coming in December. We're gonna have Nancy Ann Ritter, and we're gonna have Lenore Scelfo, the bathroom bullies from Scream.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
Oh,
right? And everybody goes, I don't think I've ever met them. And I'm like, but you didn't think you didn't need to meet them. Now you're gonna go, yeah, it would be rude. They're both there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the ones that
That's
are making fun
cool.
of poor Nev Campbell's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
That's
them there.
cool.
A couple of local filmmakers will be there with their movies, and
Mm-hmm.
some of their cast and crew will be on hand. There's an
Okay.
electric chair photo op that
Oh,
Things
wow.
Forsaken brings.
Hmm.
Harrah's Nightmare, which is a huge haunted attraction out in Westminster.
Okay.
They're also inside of a mall. But
Oh, good.
they have an entire essentially an entire like six stores side by side that
Oh,
they've gutted and
wow.
turned into a haunt.
That's
And
huge.
oh my God, I got to do what we call the lights on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we can turn the lights off. I was like, no, no, no. I want to appreciate the craftsmanship. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not here to see like the ooh, ah. I'm here to go, wow, did you carve these bricks?
Yeah.
Uh, carved, there are carved bricks out of foam. They mold and create all of the materials that you see on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
They had a Stranger Things section. Like the whole thing was just really neat.
Yeah.
And Carlos is a talented crafter. Last year at halfway to Halloween, he brought an entire house. We'll just call it what it is. He brought a house.
Okay.
He built an entire front of a house
Wow.
for a photo op. Porches, the porch, the yard, everything. Like he
Oh my
brought a
goodness.
house.
Yeah.
Short of functional plumbing, the man built a house, and he put that together in 2 hours.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Um,
That's wild.
I'm giving him more real estate, but not so much in the foot traffic path anymore.
Okay.
So now
Yeah.
he can get nuts.
All
So we'll
right.
Oh,
have
wow.
that. We actually have stage plays,
Okay.
bunch of stuff. We'll have interviews with authors and different cool panels, but there's a stage play.
That's neat.
Reagan Garnett actually she wrote all of the plays that we've had at Fright Reads thus far.
Hmm.
Reagan and her team, was it Right Here on Stage is the name of their troupe,
Okay.
and like right but right,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
right.
Oh gosh.
Um, yeah. So they
Oh,
she writes original plays, and we have people that are like, that wasn't all that good, and it's like, write one better, and she'll do it. And she actually said, they're like, I'm not going to do that. And she's come off the stage and said, if you want to be a script writer, write one. We'll
yeah.
review it. We'll make some edits and we'll perform it.
Yeah.
So she's open for,
Hmm.
suggestions and input.
Oh, that's
Um, but,
neat.
but
Okay.
every one that she writes is original. And we had one where it was all of the, I think the wives of all of the Universal horror characters,
Oh, that's fun.
and they were all complaining about their men and all that. It
Yeah.
was it was cheesy and dumb. And then the one that we just did at the fall show back in September, it was called "Be a Doll and Die." It was a murder mystery involving all of
Oh,
the Hollywood famous dolls, like Annabelle and
Yeah.
Chucky and
Okay.
Slappy from Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And one of them killed Barbie.
oh well. How dare
Oh,
they
Yeah, it was a
take
good
out
one.
the Barbie?
My only regret was that they couldn't cast the Megan character.
Oh
So they had
yeah.
to nix Megan, and I was like, but was she going to do a lot of dances? Like she was going to dance every time she was being interrogated,
oh, interesting.
and I was like, I would have killed to see that, and I would have shoved my friend Becky at that opportunity if that was the case. I would have been like,
Yeah.
There
go,
you go.
go be a doll, go up there and be weird, and just turn your head and be like, well, I don't know about Barbie. What I do know is, and then just start dancing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but we have cool stuff. The
Yeah.
spring show is. I tell everybody it's very lightweight. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of sensory overload, but there's so much to see.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. But they
Yeah.
can go on frightreads.com and select halfway to Halloween, and all of the information will be there. As things start to progress and populate, you'll see some of the vendors, the authors, our special
Okay.
guests, like the two that I had mentioned, in addition to
Mhm.
tons of others that'll show.
Okay.
Um, it'll be a lot of fun.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Jeannie, anything else? Because we're right around our time frame.
No, I think it's been great and interesting to get to know you, Harry, and to learn
Yeah.
more about
Absolutely.
your genre, your wackiness of the horror world and all the cool stuff because we like that kind of stuff. We're
Yes, we
we're we're
do.
horror people too. So
I
so
like
the
funny horror. Obviously, I got tons of Ghostbusters stuff behind me.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So I like comedy horror. That's probably where I hover around.
Okay.
Um, But like you said,
Yeah,
you can combine horror with anything, and I personally
exactly.
like
Oh, yeah.
horror comedy. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Hmm.
it's been a blast.
yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
if you will tell where our viewers and listeners can find you out on the intranet and such.
It's for writing. You're gonna find me at hcarpenterwriter.com.
Okay.
On there, if you want to find me in person, I have an entire tour list or schedule of where I'll be.
Okay.
Coming up next, I know in middle of December is going to be Ocean City. I'll be at Ocean City Comic Con, Maryland, and then I'll be at AuthorCon down in Williamsburg at the end of February.
Okay.
That should be plenty of time by the time this airs.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I'll have those two coming up, and among other dates.
Hmm.
So you can find that, buy my books, or track me down on Amazon or indie bookstores or anywhere you
Okay.
can find my books. If you
Great.
want the book festival, frightreads.com.
All right. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great because I know our viewers and listeners will be interested. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
thank you so much, Harry, for joining us this evening. This has been a blast. This has been
yeah,
awesome. And
absolutely.
I knew when we talked at the Poe Fest, I think I talked to you for like 30 minutes or so when
Oh
you
yeah.
were at your booth, and it was just a time where it was kind of like a very like lagging with people walking through, and
It
just
was
had
a
a great
little
time.
light on traffic, and the
Yeah.
sun was pointing at us
Yes.
all
Yes.
day until it went behind the buildings. It
Yes.
was all day. So yeah, we had
Oh,
nothing better to do but chat it up.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we again thank you so much. And I guess, Jeannie, on that
on
note,
that note, we
we
are
are
Poe out.
out.